Good evening, beloved. God bless you. I want to share a lesson I've learned in life about relationship, which is, I believe, is very important. Now, you will discover that you have been in a relationship. Sometimes you try to help people, or you try to encourage someone, a partner, a friend, or somebody you are living with, or somebody you are relating with in this journey of life. Maybe you are struggling to encourage the person, you are struggling to empower the person, you are struggling to put something into the person, but you discover that the people doesn't really seem to appreciate so much your effort. Sometimes you tend to discover that it's like you are too interested in the person more than how the person is in himself. That is a reality about life that has happened to me in particular many times. You try to encourage people on some things on how to succeed. You see somebody going through certain situations in life, and there are things you have been through before and you came out of them, and you know what exactly the person can do in order to come out of that situation. Or you look at somebody, you see potentials in the person, you think that this person, if he or she is empowered, the person can become very great and successful. And you're struggling to encourage the person, you're struggling to do a coaching in the person's life, to empower the person so that the person can go forward. But you realize that you are making the effort, it's like the person doesn't appreciate it. It's like the person doesn't even see the importance of what you are doing. And to some extent, some even pick an offense on you because of what you are doing. There are people you try to help and they get offended because you are struggling to help them. The people you are trying to encourage them and they feel that you are too hard on them, or you are demanding too much from them more than what they can offer. Whereas you are seeing the potential in them, you are able to discern at what length their ability can go. As scripture says that to whom much is given, much is expected. You look at the person, you are seeing much in the person. So you are expecting much from the person, but when you are struggling to get the person do the much, which is equivalent to the potentials and the strength you see in the person picks an offense. So you begin to ask yourself, what is going on? What can I really do in order to help in this kind of situation? The first thing in order to help such a situation first is that you who is struggling to help, you made a mistake. Okay? You made a mistake. You who is encouraging, you made a mistake. You who is helping, you made a mistake. I have been in that situation before, repeatedly, not just once. Okay? That's why I had to come up with this video today, because it's necessary for us to really know how to live a peaceful life, because sometimes it gets you pissed off. You get offended by how people react, or by how people respond to the offer and the coaching and encouragement that you give them. You feel like they don't appreciate it enough. Or sometimes somebody is offended and start avoiding you. You're wondering, why is this person avoiding me? Yes, maybe I've done something wrong. You start feeling like that. But I just want to let you know today that the mistake there is not that your coaching was wrong, your encouragement was not wrong. You saw what the person can do. Before reaching out to talk to the person, you had discerned what the person can do before reaching out to talk to the person. So if there was a mistake on your part, then as I have said, what is the mistake? The first mistake I've noticed that I used to do is that I used to love people more than how they love themselves. I used to care about people more than how they care about themselves. I used to be interested in people more than how they are interested in themselves. It doesn't matter the potential you see in somebody or the gifting or whatsoever you see in the life of a human being. If that human being doesn't see what he or she carries, there's more than 90% probabilities for the person to pick an offense over your encouragement and maybe you insisting that he or she can do it, you can do it, you can do it. The person may pick an offense. It is really those who have a very positive mind that will tell them, okay, you can do it, you can do it. Out of your encouragement, they will have the boast. You boast them. They will have the boast to go forward. But in most cases, especially those who are narrow-minded, those who are very limited in their thinking, they pick an offense. They feel like you are criticizing me too much. You are speaking. You are too negative of me, and you are trying that I should do what I don't know how to do. Sometimes some will openly tell you, I can't do it, because they just believe in the limitation of their ability. That's human being. So what should we do? Always, when you are trying to get close to somebody and you are in a whatsoever nature of relationship, and you are struggling, that you are making an effort to be a support, an encouragement, a strength to the individual, the first thing which I've learned is try to see how much the person believes in himself, to what extent he thinks positive about himself. A person who thinks low, even God cannot help him. That's what you should know. That's why scripture says that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Your thinking makes you. God may create you to be like an inventor, or you may be somebody that God has created you. Maybe you are supposed to be too great, really great, impacting your world, but your limit is in your mind. What the person sees himself able to do in his mind is where he'll be limited. Even if you speak, sometimes people feel that God troubles them too much. Sometimes people feel that it's too difficult to follow God. Because God says to them, live fully, live righteous, they feel it is too much on the part of God. Whereas they don't realize that if God says to you, live holy, it's because you already have the potential to be holy. There's already the ability in you to be holy. If God says be righteous, it's because there's already an ability in you to be righteous. If God says go on this mission, it's because there's already an empowerment in you to go on that mission. A fish just get harsh and is growing, doesn't ask himself, how am I going to swim? It is inbuilt in it to swim naturally. But human beings don't realize that. So it is important that everybody you want to help, try to measure the person's interest in himself, and you dish out the same measure of interest to the individual. That is how to do it, and you don't hurt them. First thing, try to measure the same measure of interest, love, and belief the person has in himself, and then give the same measure to the individual. That's the first thing. And then the second thing, try to understand the language they understand. There is love language. There are people who do not understand. When you speak in a certain way, they don't understand. So try to also speak in a language the person understands. That's the second thing, which I believe is most important to do. If you have done that, if you have understood the measure of love, interest, and belief the person has in himself, and you dish out the same interest, you reserve part. Though you love the person, you're saying the person can do high, but you're dishing to the person the measure of love, interest, and support per time, which is equivalent to what the person believes in himself. And then the second thing, you understand then the love language of the person, which kind of communication system sounds well with the person's nature, mindset, and psychological structure. If you understand that, which is the second, and you do it to the person, the third thing then is be patient. Give the person time to change. Give the person time to grow up. Give the person time to transform into what you expect the person to be. If these two primary things I have mentioned are in place, and tell you the truth, it is going to yield fruit. There is going to be a change. There's going to be a transformation. Do this in order to protect the relationship. Do this so that you don't miss impacting people's life because maybe you feel that they are too difficult to deal with. Sometimes you just even need to ignore some human beings for a time, not because you don't really care about them, but give them space. Let them just have some time and just feel your absence. When you finally are showing interest again, they will understand how valuable you were. So please do these three things, and you'll protect your relationship, and you'll be fruitful in whatever you're doing with people. Thank you so much.